ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So today we are trying to understand the chapter 17. So last chapter we discussed about divine and demoniac natures. So the divine nature is, Krishna explains what are divine nature. Amanitvam, madhambitvam, he gives all the explanation of the divine qualities. Then he explains arrogance, pride, all these things are asuri lakshana, which is demoniac qualities. Then he also elaborately explains how do demons think. That after that, at the end he says, one has to take the shelter of scriptures. Yashastra vidhim ustrijya vartate kamakarataha nasasiddhim avapnoti. So, nasukham na paramgatim. Paramgati, sukha, nothing can be achieved by disobeying the scriptures. Now today, Arjuna's question is very relevant. So Arjuna is asking a question in the next, immediately, because Krishna has talked about following the scriptures. So this chapter is divided into these many sections, small sections. Arjuna's question, Krishna's answer, then Krishna explains about how three modes act: the food, sacrifice, austerity, charity, etc. Conclusion, Om Tat Sat. So that is 23 to 28. So these are the different sections which we are trying to understand today. So now let us start with Arjuna's question. The verse number 1. Let us chant this to get into the mood of Arjuna to receive knowledge from Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Arjuna Uvacha. Yasha ye shastra vidhimustriccha yatante shraddhayanvitaha tesham nishtatu ka Krishna sattvam aho rajastamaha. Now you see this particular word in the 16th chapter. If you open 23rd verse, last but one verse of the last chapter, just 2 pages behind, you will see Yash Shastra Vidam Ustrajya Vartate Kamakaratah. Same sentence now Arjuna is asking. Ye Shastra Vidam Ustrajya Yajante Shraddhayanvitaha. They have rejected the scriptures. They are not referring to scriptures, but they have some Shraddha, some faith. What kind of faith they have? Whatever they feel, according to their mind. So, Arjuna's question. Arjuna said, "O Krishna, what is the situation of one who does not follow the principles of the scriptures, but worships according to his own imagination? Is he in goodness, in passion, or in ignorance?" Like sometimes we may see some tribal people. They are not referring to any scriptures, but they also have some worship. In the forest, they are worshipping something. But they also have a Shraddha. They have some faith on what they are doing. So what happens to them is Arjuna's question. Now Krishna's answer. Please repeat. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Trividha Bhavati Shraddha Dehinam Sasvabhavaja Satviki Rajasi Chaiva Tamasi Chetitam Shruno. So the question was very clear. Arjuna's inquiry about unauthorized worship. Now Krishna is answering in the next section. Now Krishna is saying that the Supreme Lord said, according to mode of nature acquired by the embodied soul. Now we all acquired certain swabhava. We say, no, somebody is mrudu swabhava, katu swabhava. Somebody is very soft in nature, somebody is very hard in nature. How these swabhavas we have acquired? Is it coming from our soul, from the spiritual world when we came? No. After coming here, we have gone through so many lives. When we are going through so many lives, we have gone through so many experiences. Good experience, bad experience. Like this, we have gone through a lot of experiences in our lives. Due to all these things, we have acquired certain nature. Like sometimes people come, a man was born and brought up in a family where the father is a drunkard, mother is not there, and he comes and beats. Our father comes and beats his wife. It's a very disturbed childhood. Their swabhava will be different from somebody whose father and mother are very loving, caring, good relationship, isn't it? You see, the experiences change one person's mindset and swabhava. So like that, our swabhava has been molding not only in this life, from so many millions of lives. In the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, just like the air carries the aroma, the perceptions of happiness and unhappiness go from one body to another body along with the soul. So that is why we acquired certain nature. Some people may quickly get angry, some people may not get angry, like this. So now Krishna is saying, people according to the mode of nature acquired by the embodied soul. So he acquired either Rajoguna, Sattva-guna or Tamo-guna. One's faith can be three kinds. Three kinds of Shraddha they will have. Shraddha in the mode of goodness, Shraddha in the mode of passion, Shraddha in the mode of ignorance. Now hear about these. This is what Krishna is saying. You can see in the PowerPoint presentation that people have three types of faith that arise from their acquired nature, Subhava, due to previous impressions by the influence of the modes. Thus one's faith can be in goodness or in passion or ignorance. The faith can be divided into three categories. In the purport, Acharya Prabhupada writes that though one's nature may be now mrudhu or kathu, whatever nature one may have, but somehow or other, if that person approaches Guru, the spiritual master, takes into spiritual life and follows the process of bhakti or devotional service, he can change his swabhava. Example is the story of Mrigari, which I told you sometimes. How Narada taught hunter who was killing the animals half, Mrigari. I told this story, isn't it? So, such a person who was enjoying others' suffering changed into a great devotee that he was hesitant, he was careful not to kill an ant while walking. How did it change? By the process of devotional service to Lord. That is the power of devotion to Krishna. It changes one's heart. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayati Ashuvairagyam Jnanam Cha Tat Ahaitukam. Knowledge and detachment will automatically arise in a person's heart if one performs bhakti, seve or devotional service to Krishna. So that is what Purport Prabhupada explains for our information, though it is like that. Now, Krishna further explains association according to modes. According to one's existence under the various modes of nature, one evolves a particular kind of faith. The living being is said to be of a particular faith according to modes he has acquired. This we have discussed in the 14th chapter about three modes in detail. How Sattva-guna person behaves, what is Sattva-guna's nature, what is Rajoguna, what is Tamo-guna. Accordingly one behaves, accordingly one worships also. Now next he explains this. Please repeat. 4th verse. This is for the memorization also. Yajante satvika devan Yajante satvika devan Yaksha rakshamsi rajasah Pretan bhuta ganashchanye Pretan bhuta ganamschanye Yajante tamasa janah Yajante tamasa janah. So men in goodness worship demigods, devatas, Indra, Chandra, Agni, Vayu, like this, Varuna. Those in the mode of passion, they worship demons. They appreciate a material wealth and power. For them it does not matter how they acquired the power. Like nobody is asking how one very big rich man in this world acquired power. Today he may be billionaire, but people are after him. How he acquired? I also want to get that. So that is called mode of passion. Mode of passion, people are not much bothered about others suffering. They are very, very passionate about acquiring success for themselves. So they worship the demons. Demons means man in the power. Disregard of others' suffering, they were in power, like Hitler. So that is also another example. He is in power by killing so many Jews. So they like them. Passionate people like such people, worship them. Then Pretan Bhuta Ganams Chanye Yajante Tamasa Jana. Those in the mode of ignorance worship ghosts and spirits. They try to get some benefits from ghosts and spirits. Their worships are not with any cleanliness, not with any proper rituals. Everything is very haphazard. Throw, cut animal, drink blood, all kind of unclean activities they do for the purpose of worshipping ghosts. So they are in the mode of tamoguna. So then Prabhupada writes in the purport, but the man in pure goodness, there is something called pure goodness. Pure goodness is above goodness, above passion, above ignorance, called Shuddha Sattva. It is also called Vasudeva platform. In the Vasudeva platform or pure goodness, they worship Krishna, worship Vishnu. They are above even the people of Sattva. So this is Krishna's explanation. Different worships in the three modes. Now they are worshipping based on their acquired nature. You cannot stop. You cannot stop them. Hey, why are you liking Hitler? Change your idea. Just by you telling, they will not change, because their swabhava is to like that. If the swabhava has to change, it takes some time. Someone has somewhere or other they should practice bhakti. Easiest way to make people practice bhakti is give them prasadam. Give them some prasadam. First they will appreciate prasadam. Very nice prasadam. Then you tell after giving prasadam for 10 times, you should say, see, you have taken prasadam so long. Now I have a request. He will be obliged to follow your request. What is that? He will ask. Then you tell, you please chant Hare Krishna 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes. So, then slowly if he chants Hare Krishna, then slowly he will come out of his bad swabhava. That is why spiritual practices cannot be, these benefits of the spiritual practices cannot be gotten just by knowing the philosophy. We will teach in the schools and colleges Bhagavad Gita like that. People are telling these days, isn't it? Just by teaching Bhagavad Gita is not sufficient. They have to practice Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise they will not get the benefit. They will, after reading and understanding Bhagavad Gita also, they will continue to do wrong things. Because they are not practicing those principles. Just knowing is not sufficient. So now, one who worships Vasudeva, son of Vasudeva, Krishna, is in the pure goodness. So next, coming to austerity. Those who undergo severe austerities and penances not recommended in the scriptures. Scriptures are not saying do this. Nowhere we find, but they are doing. Performing them out of pride, maybe wanted to show that I am doing great tapasya, or out of ego that I am superior to others, and lust or attachment to gain some benefit, acquire some power. By doing tapasya, we acquire power. That is the law of this nature. If you do great tapasya, work very hard when you are a student, you will get good job. This is a result of your tapasya. Tapasya will give power. in this world. By becoming angry, we cannot get power. See, this secret, modern population is failing to understand. When they become angry, what they do these days, they break something. They break TV, break some mobile, they're angry because they don't know what to do to get that. To get something in your life, you should have punya. By breaking your mobile, will you get punya? No. However, earlier days, even demons like Ravan or Hiranyakashipu, they were aware of this. If they want something in their life, they should get punya, they should get power. For that, what they should do? Tapasya. You see, they left and they went for tapasya. Hiranyakashipu went and did tapasya for Brahma. Ravana went for tapasya for Brahma and acquired certain powers. But the modern population, since they have no knowledge, they don't understand the happiness which I gain, sukha I am getting in life is a result of my punya. If I am not getting sukha, then I have to acquire punya. That logic they don't understand. They become angry. They break the things. That is why these days there's something called rage rooms have come. You heard of rage rooms? When you are in rage. In the Western countries, it had come earlier. Now it has come to India also. In Bangalore, they opened one. When you become too angry, you have to pay some money there. They will allow you to go inside. There are all the TV, tube light, mobile phones, everything kept. You can break how much ever you want. And it's a 10 minutes or 15 minute slots. And you get freed from after breaking everything and come out. They're called rage room. Why you break good TV and good this thing and lost 1 lakh rupees after you become angry? You come here, 500 rupees, you can break everything. They're saying. They're called rage room. You can search in Google. But devotees don't require rage room. We don't require rage room because we don't become angry like that. If you are not gotten something, devotee has knowledge. Oh, I did not get what I wanted. Means I don't have punya to get it. I don't have sufficient punya. That's called arhate. I should deserve, no? To get something I should deserve. So I am not deserving it. So this comes to devotee's mind because you all have studied Bhagavad Gita. This will come. You will not become angry. Okay, that's what I deserve. So you will be knowledge. So the demoniac people, so they do this kind of austerities for power, who are impelled by passion and who torture their bodily organs as well as super soul, Paramatma, dwelling within, are to be known as demons. These asuras, they do great austerities. For what purpose? What is the purpose of their austerity? Pride, ego, lust and attachment, and they torture their bodies for this. So this is one kind of swabhava. Asura swabhava people do this kind of austerity. Then next Krishna says, the last verse of this section, even the food of which all partake of 3 kinds, according to the 3 modes of material nature. The same is true for sacrifices, austerity, yajna, tapasya, and charity, dana. Listen, and I shall tell you of distinctions of these. Now I will explain to you. Because Krishna is explaining now. What is he explaining? He is explaining of people's faith and activities not based on scriptures, based on their swabhava. Now he is categorizing swabhava, sattva-guna, sattvika swabhava, rajasika swabhava, tamasika. Now it helps us to also know how much percentage of sattva-guna is within me. We are not pure. We all have sattva, rajas, tamas in different percentage within us. And that fluctuates. Sometimes sattva-guna becomes predominant in us. Sometimes tamoguna becomes predominant in us. Sometimes rajoguna becomes predominant in us. These gunas keeps fluctuating within us within a day also. Early morning you get up and do some chanting of Hare Krishna, you are Sattva Guna at that time. Evening time, after completing your duties and some misunderstandings, fights and all happen, you will come your Rajoguna. So like this, you will get into different modes in a day, 3 modes, one other under competition. So by reading this, we understand what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad. Because in the 14th chapter, Krishna has already said, if you maintain Sattva Guna, good for you, like this. It is like this. If you maintain Rajoguna, this is like this. Result is like this. If you maintain Tamoguna, result is like this. What did he say? Sattva Guna means peace, happiness, knowledge and all those things. And Rajoguna means frustration, depression, distress, all those things. Tamoguna means full of mental agony, sleeping, laziness and all this. Now which one you will choose? Naturally anybody intelligent will say, I want Sattva Guna. If somebody says, no, I want Tamoguna, I want to be lazy, then you can't help. That person has to go through that experience. If the child is too much going after to touch fire, parents can stop, try to drag, try to put. One time parents should allow. So go and touch yourself to the fire, so that again you will not try to go there. So sometimes it is like that. Everybody do not understand by telling. They have to experience. There are even though more foolish people, after experiencing also again they go. So these are explained in the scriptures as first class intelligence, second class intelligence, third class intelligence. First class intelligence you tell, see that is fire, don't touch, he will not touch. Second class intelligence sees somebody has touched and his hand is burnt. That seeing is sufficient. Oh, it's very risky to touch. Third class intelligence is even after hearing, even after seeing, he does not take it seriously. He goes and touches it and his hand burns. Then he realizes. There is one more class called fourth class. They touch, burn their hand, still again go and burn their hand again. So like this, the living beings in this world go through experiences of difficulties, challenges, sukha and dukkha. Sometimes they realize. That is why in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, Bahunam janmana mante jnanavan ma prapadyate Vasudevah sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. 19th verse. He is saying, Bahunam janmanam ante. After so many lives, he will say, Vasudevah sarvamiti. Vasudeva, you are everything. Some people take so many lives to say that. So, here Krishna is saying that these are different things according to modes: sacrifice, austerity, charity. Now I will explain to you in detail. He said Krishna is going to explain. So next is other sections now. You can see quickly it will pass through food now. First is food. Let us see what is food in the mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. Because which we eat every day, so many times. So we should know what is goodness, passion and ignorance. Please repeat verse number 8. Ayuhu sattva balarogya. Ayuhu sattva balarogya. Sukha priti vivardhana. Sukha priti vivardhana. Rasya snigdha sthira hridya. Rasya snigdha sthira hridya. Aharaha satvika priyaha. Aharaha satvika priyaha. So here can see the slide there. The food which is juicy, fatty, wholesome and pleasing to the heart. Generally, if you ask any modern people about food means what? What should food contain? A nutritionist will explain to you, food should contain macronutrients that has protein, carbohydrates and fat, and micronutrients and all the vitamins and minerals. This is called food. So then they will calculate calorie and protein intake. Protein shake you should drink. When you take a biscuit packet, you can see how many calories it is, how much protein is there, how much fiber is there, how much calcium is there, how much vitamin is there. This is the analysis of the food. So in the modern English or westernized culture is that food is simply something dumped on the stomach so that it creates energy to you. It keeps your body healthy. They think like that. That is why for them, whether you eat by hand or whether you eat by spoon, whether you eat by left hand, right hand or directly through the mouth, directly drink from the plate, eat from, that doesn't matter. Finally it will give health. But our Sanatana Dharma teaches differently. It teaches lot of sensitive and subtle matter about the food. Food is not just micro and macronutrients and vitamins. Food is more than that. Food is not only to give energy and maintain the body. Food is, it should increase the duration of life. Ayuhu sattva balarokya. Ayuhu, it should increase the duration of life and purify one's existence. So it should also help us to purify our purifying existence means it should help us to come out of lust, greed and anger, kama, krodha, lobha. These are impurities of life. This is called impurities of life. Food should help you to come out of kama, the lust. There are certain foods which will increase the lust. Certain foods do not. That is why Vedic culture prescribes what food should be taken. Like somebody may argue, wine, alcohol is vegetarian. It's prepared from grapes. It's a grape juice. Why don't you drink? No, there are certain compositions. That food, alcohol, which is considered to be tamasic. So it is not only nutrient value of how it is prepared, what the source of ingredient. Like in the spiritualists who want to seriously progress in spiritual life, they don't eat onion and garlic. Why? They are also vegetables. Because it is understood through Ayurveda what are the implications of this food on the mind. The food we eat has influence on the mind. That's a food is not only gross things, it has a lot of subtle things to analyze. Here you can see, that is why it is said, Sattva-guna food should increase your duration of life. You will live long if you eat Sattva-guna food. Second, it will purify your existence. It is not only increasing your duration of life. It should also give strength, health, happiness and satisfaction. Ayuhu, sattva, bala, arogya, sukha, priti, vivardanaha, rasya, snigdha, sthira, hridya, ara, aharaha, sattvika, priyaha. This is what sattva means, existence. It purifies one's existence. So how does that food look like? It is juicy, rasyaha, snigdhaha, sthira hritya. It is juicy, is fatty, wholesome and pleasing to the heart. All the grains, pulses, milk. See, the milk is a transformed form of a blood only, but the milk is in Sattva-guna. In the milk also, cow's milk in Sattva-guna, not buffalo milk. Though a nutritionist may say that buffalo milk has more nutrients, but has the effect on the mind. We say in our local language, ಎಮ್ಮೆ ಹಾಲು ಕುಡ್ದಂಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, isn't it? ಎಮ್ಮೆ ಹಾಲು ಕುಡ್ದಂಗೆ ಮಾಡೋದಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ? ಮಂದ ಬುದ್ಧಿ. I have seen practically those who drink in their childhood lot of buffalo milk. They're not quick, they're not witty, they're not clever. Though they have IQ is there, but it does not click to them. Little dull. See, our Shastras explain all these things. This will grow, muscles and body will grow. This will not grow if you drink buffalo milk. So now milk is milk, everybody will say. They will say buffalo milk is more healthier, it's a A2 milk. It has more nutrients. We are not denying, yes, that's all true. Actually, cow's milk also have, now these days they have spoiled the cow genes because of that great greed for milk and money. They have spoiled everything. You don't get the pure milk itself these days. So the milk is in Sattva-guna. Milk has another important property. Pure Desi cow's milk has the property to help us understand spiritual subject matter. Person becomes spiritually very intelligent if he drinks milk. That's why Ayurveda prescribes night time, before going to bed, people should drink 1 cup of hot milk. That activates the spiritual quest in a person. Spiritual quest means they will really look for the long-term happiness. They will not look for short-term happiness. They will know the purpose of life. They want to know about it. That quest will come in a person. So this is about Sattva-guna food. Now let us see Rajasic food. Please repeat the next slogan. Katvam lavanatyushna Katvam lavanatyushna Tikshna ruksha vidahinaha Tikshna ruksha vidahinaha Ahara rajasasyeshtha Ahara rajasasyeshtha Dukkha shokamaya pradaha Dukkha shokamaya pradaha. So very important. See, Krishna is giving this knowledge. He is the manufacturer of this world. The manufacturer is telling. Like your manufacturer of your refrigerator or manufacturer of your washing machine will tell, use this kind of washing powder only, otherwise it will get spoiled. If you say, I don't care for manufacturer, what is the result? Your washing machine will soon get spoiled and your money will get wasted, isn't it? You will be suffering more. Now Krishna is saying that if you eat Rajasic food, what happens? Foods that are too bitter, too sour, salty, hot means spicy, pungent, dry and burning, such foods cause distress, misery and disease. Dukkha shoka maya pradha. Dukkha shoka it will give. So one has to avoid the food which is too bitter, too sour, too salty, hot, pungent and dry and burning. Okay. So now comes next food. What is that? Tamoguna food. Please repeat. Yatayamam gatarasam Bhuti paryushitam chayat Uchishtam api chamedhyam Bhojanam tamasa priyam. So now it is explained, the food cooked more than 3 hours before being eaten, which is tasteless, stale, putrid, decomposed and unclean, is a food liked by people in a mode of ignorance. So the food which is prepared more than 3 hours before being eaten. So it's now you may wonder how to achieve this, because in this age we all are working. Morning we'll cook and keep in fridge and go. Next day again use it. What about 3 hours? Sometimes 3 days also we use the same food. So actually it is in tamoguna food. If you want to avoid that, only one option is, if you prepare the food in sattvic and offer to Krishna, Naivedya if you do, that food is prasadam. That does not become tamoguna. Just like Tirupati Laddu, for example. You receive the Laddu after a week also, it is not tamoguna food, it is a spiritual food. So, a way for a Krishna Bhakta to avoid this situation is to offer food to the Lord and King. So that helps in a way that we don't eat tamasic food. Otherwise, the food becomes tamasic. So, 3 hours then. Food which is tasteless, decomposed and putrid. This is decomposed food, tasteless food, putrid food. Then food consisting of remnants and untouchable things, unclean things. Meat comes under the category of untouchable, unclean food. Okay. So the people in Tamoguna like this. What is the result of that? The diseases, distress, depression, laziness, and all these results will come. We should also know, when you eat an animal, dead animal while dying, it will leave a lot of hormones of the fear. There are fear hormones. When we eat that, when a person eats that, he gets all those things to his thought process. So it creates a lot of disturbance. That is why you see, in our culture, at least in Indian culture, there is a restriction for eating. Those who eat non-vegetarian food also, there was some restriction. Tuesday I will not eat, Saturday I will not eat, festival day I will not eat, when I am going to temple I will not eat. Why all these restrictions came? Because it is not good for us. If something is good, there is no restriction. Is there any restriction that how many chapatis you can make in your home? There is no restriction. The restriction is for such things. That is why the non-vegetarian food, non-veg we say, it's very polite way of saying meat. Because if you say meat or dead animal, if non-veg is not vegetarian, what it is then? That is you have to assume. So we sometimes give some good names so that it does not look so awkward. But actually, non-vegetarian meat in our language, it is called mamsa, right? It's a Sanskrita word, mamsa is. In Sanskrita, mam means me. Mamekam sharanam vraja, mamekam krishmam means me. Sa means in Sanskrit also. Mamsa means me also. So what does it mean? Today you are in my plate. In the future, me also in your plate. Because there is a consequence for the meat. any harm we create to anybody, there are certain consequences. Now you may ask, vegetarians also killing plants, vegetarians also killing some takes grain and fruits and all those things. These are actually creating pain for the plants. But there is a lot of difference. One is Jiva Jivasya Jivanam. One living being subsists on another living being. Okay, that's the principle of this world. That way, if you think, then you cannot live only, you have to die. You cannot eat anything if you consider like that. Shastras say one living being subsists on other living being. Now the thing is, what is designated for you is important. For the tiger, eating meat is not sinful. It is a carnivorous animal. It pounces on another animal and eats. Perfectly alright. There is no sin. That is food. But human body, if you are some doctors here, you will also know. If you know the anatomy of the human body is 80 to 90% resembles to herbivorous animal, sasyahari, not mamsahari, herbivorous animal. We don't have canine teeth like tiger, which has your canine teeth, long. Sometimes in ghost movies they will show like this, they will long teeth. So human beings don't have that. Then we have sweating. Actually, these skin pores are not there for carnivorous animals. We have herbivorous. Then our saliva, which is there in our body, saliva has certain pH, means acidic or alkaline. Like lemon is acidic, milk is alkaline, tender coconut is alkaline, lemon is acidic. So the human saliva pH is more of alkaline, and carnivorous and cows and horse, all these animals saliva also more of alkaline because they are herbivorous. Carnivorous animals, their saliva is acidic. Like python. How do they digest? They just swallow another animal. Their stomach will be so acidic, it's like an acid. It will burn the living beings inside. When the tiger eats, the meat to get burnt with its acidic nature of the stomach. We don't have that. We are more resembling in herbivorous animals. And the intestine. The tiger's intestine is 4 feet long. The human intestine is 28 feet. So then what happens? The meat which is consumed in the body, it becomes putrid inside. So that causes a lot of diseases. So like this, if you go on analyzing even the scientific basis, forget about Shastra. The human body anatomy is to eat sasyahara, vegetarian food, which is designated food of human beings. Secondly, the animals and plants, there is a difference. The level of consciousness which the plants have is at a different degree than animals. Just like a killing of a dog and killing of a human baby, there is a difference. Though both are living beings. Similarly, there is a difference in consciousness among the plants and the other living beings. They do not have developed consciousness and nervous system like us, which we undergo a lot of pain if some harm happens to body. So there are many discussions like this on. Then finally, pain to animals. Are we so hungry that we are okay to be killing so many animals and their pain? Cows, when the calf is taken birth, if the calf is a male calf, in the first day itself they send it off. And then sometimes calf is not allowed to see the mother because calf should not finish the milk. And then there is one kind of meat they prepare in the West. They make cow to stand in a very constrained place, cannot move. It is made a small cage kind of thing. Cow cannot sit down, cow cannot walk, it's a small place. And they don't feed the cow for 3-4 days. And it goes through great suffering. They say in that process, the meat becomes more soft and tasty. That's why somebody said, if the walls of the slaughterhouses are made of glass, don't think there would be any non-vegetarians. So much suffering is given to animals, for pigs and chickens and goats. Their mothers, their children in front of them will be dragged, will be killed, will be undergo so much of pain. So is it worth to give that much pain and we just for satisfying ourselves? Are we not healthy by eating vegetarian food? There is sufficient protein, better protein, healthy protein available. The vegetarian diet. So these are different arguments because food which is Bhagavad Gita says that food is untouchable. And untouchable food is tamoguna. The result of that, you will suffer. You have to go through depression, you have to go through suffering, you have to pay mamsa. So this is 3 kinds of food. Tamoguna, Rajoguna and Sattva. So now we'll go to next. Sacrifices. Of sacrifices. That sacrifice performed according to the duty and the scriptural rules with no expectation of reward is of the nature of goodness. Sacrifice means what? Yajna. Performing yajna. I'm not doing yajna for some benefit. I'm doing yajna as a matter of duty. I don't have any expectation. That is sattva. Because I know I'm taking so much facility from God, from all the devatas, air, water, sunlight. So many things, benefits I am taking from the nature. So I'm obliged to give back. That is why yajna is performed, oblations to the devatas. Without any expectation one is doing. As per the scriptures he should do, as per the Shastra, not by his own whims. Then it is mode of goodness. But that sacrifice, which is performed of for some material gain, material end or benefit, or performed ostentatiously, out of pride, it is of nature of passion, O chief of Bharatas. So if you are expecting something from the yajna, that is mode of passion. No more goodness. Then comes sacrifice. And the sacrifice performed in the deviance of scriptural injunctions. They don't consider Shastras properly, in which no spiritual food is distributed, no hymns are chanted, no remunerations are made to the priests, which is faithless. That sacrifice is of nature of ignorance. So next is austerity. In austerity, there are 3 kinds of austerity. Austerity for the body, austerity for the speech, austerity for the mind. What is austerity means? Tapasya. Some tapassu, austerity. Voluntarily done, not somebody forced. If somebody says, I will lock you in the room, no food for you, that austerity is forced upon, not that you wanted it. Then you are starving. No, food is there in front of you. You decide, I will not take this. That's austerity. Willingly you take some inconveniences. So, austerity has three kinds: three: body, speech, and mind. Let us see what are different austerities for the body. Please chant this 14th verse. Devadvija Guru Prajna Pujanam Shauchamarchavam Brahmacharyam Ahimsa Cha Shariram Tapa Uchyate. See here, the austerity of the body consists. What are the austerity one should do for the body? Worship of the Supreme Lord and Brahmanas and the spiritual master. Deva Dvija Guru Prajna. What does it mean? We are easy to understand. One should worship the Supreme Lord. One should worship the spiritual master. What is Dvija? Worshipping the Brahmana means. Dvija means one. Why is called Dvija? First birth is from father and mother. Second birth is from Vedas and Guru. Dvija is the one who considers Vedas as mother, Guru as father. Means his goal of life is only progressing spiritually. He is called Brahmana. It's not about caste Brahmana. The Brahmana means Brahmana's goal is Brahma Janatiti Brahmana. His goal of life is only achieving spiritual success. So Dvija means he has taken the second birth. In this birth he has taken the second birth. Then the thread is given. The thread ceremony is a Dvija. The ceremony becomes Dvija by receiving the thread from the spiritual master and accepting Vedas. After the thread ceremony, in our Sanatana Dharma, that person should go to Gurukula. Stay with the Guru, serve Guru. That's how he should make progress in spiritual path. Not stay at home, sleep till 8 o'clock and just for the satisfaction of the family and society you do an Upanayana Samskara and sleeps whole day. This is not Dvija. Dvija has a great responsibility of spiritual progress. So, one should worship such people. Supreme Lord, Brahmanas, Dvija, the spiritual master, and parents, father and mother. One who has given birth and given this body to us. And this worshipping of them, keeping great respect towards them, is the first austerity of the body. Morning, get up, take bath, worship the Lord, take blessings of the Guru, Brahmanas and parents. This requires austerity to get up in the morning and do, isn't it? Not that when you get up, already father and mother has gone to job and I am sleeping still. Then when will you worship them? You have to go to office to worship them. They already gone to office. New age children are getting up at 8 o'clock because they sleep at 3 o'clock. We all get up at 3:30 in the temple here. So 3:30 they sleep. So the Bhagavad Gita 2nd chapter there is one verse. Yanisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagriti samyam. Spiritualist and non-spiritualist difference is that it's like a day and night. What is day for spiritualist is night for non-spiritualist. What is night for spiritualist is day for the spiritualist. They are sleeping and we are doing our spiritual activity. When we are sleeping, that's a peak of their activity. After night, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, these days youngsters, now the day begins. Then they start. It's all completely wrong because the result of that, they have to suffer. In this life only they have to suffer. Not too far. Depression, bodily problems, this problem, thyroid problem, diabetes, all kinds of. This is natural to sleep. When it becomes dark, you should sleep. How birds, you see, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, wherever they have gone, they will come back to their nest. They don't do night duty. Do they? Any bird comes, call center, night duty, I gone today. Bird comes, sleeps, morning, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, they get up. Their activity starts. So this is a natural thing. God has given like this. But we are exploiting. So body, so the first austerity is to follow this. So second austerity. Cleanliness. Cleanliness is next austerity. Cleanliness is inside cleanliness by practicing spiritual life. Chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Every day you should chant. 1 round minimum. More rounds are recommended. Srila Prabhupada said one should chant 16 rounds. 16 times 108. That is best if you can reach there. Don't worry, time God will give. God is the controller of the time. What work you can do in 2 hours, God will give you intelligence to finish in 1 hour. You will see all those miracles when you take up a spiritual path. You'll see the reciprocation of Krishna in your life. You want to take up, see Krishna's reciprocation in your life. If you are serious about it, then you should take the spiritual, the practices seriously. Then you will see those things. So, cleanliness. External cleanliness, how? By taking bath, washing clothes, keeping everything clean. So that is a reflection of our mind. Not that the room, one side footwears are thrown, another side, books are thrown, not clean. This is the reflection of one's mind. Disturbed mind people, room will be like that. These days, youngsters' rooms, if you go, everything is thrown here. One shoe is in this side, other shoe is in this side. You should go to bachelor's room, you cannot enter only there. No, because I was also like that. So, unclean and keeping this here, there, no timings. Actually, we think at that time we are enjoying. Actually, that is not enjoyment. That is suffering. They are not realizing it. It's like a camel. The camel is going and eating thorn. In the desert, what a camel get to eat is thorns. When the camel eats thorns, thorns will prick the camel's mouth and the blood will come. Then it will chew. Blood and the dry thorns mix, it gives very nice taste. And a camel thinks thorn is very tasty. Is the thorn tasty? Its blood has made it tasty and it is not realizing it is harming itself in the name of tasty thorn. So that is why camel whenever sees thorns it goes to eat that. The camel is in so deep ignorance and not realizing that I am enjoying myself at my own cost. This is the modern civilization's fault. Modern people think, actually they are enjoying their thinking, but they are enjoying at their own cost. No cleanliness, no austerity, no tapasya, no difficulty they want to take. One day fasting they cannot do. In a month, 1 day fasting they cannot do. No, how can I fast? They search in internet, what all fasting I can, what all I can eat on fasting day. Fasting means you should not eat. Why you are searching what you should eat on fasting day? So, austerity we should take, cleanliness. Then simplicity is another austerity. This simplicity, where one should live in a simple requirements of life. Not unnecessarily increase the requirements. Celibacy, both for men and women. The celibacy, not to be after sex life, should be focused on one's goal, celibacy. Then non-violence, himsa, ahimsa, not create problem for others, trouble for others. These are austerities for the body, Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita. Please note. Then Krishna says, austerity for speech. Okay. Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyayabhyasanam chaiva vanmayam tapavichyate. Speaking truthful words, satya. You should tell true things. And what you speak should be pleasing to others. And it should be beneficial to others. Not that it disturbs them and is non-beneficial, destroys them. By talking to you, somebody go back their home unhappy. Sometimes people speak very crooked way. They compare, put somebody down. Oh, you don't have it, huh? Why is it? I say, you don't know this. If you speak to that person half an hour, your happiness will go away. It's not good. They have no control over their speech. Our speech should be such a way, should be encouraging, making other person happy. By hearing to us, they will become happy and they want to come back to us again to talk to us. Very pleasing. And you should not tell lies, you should tell truth. And beneficial to other person. Not agitating others. Anudvigna. You should not call udvigna in others. Not agitating them. Then the last thing, swadhyaya. Regularly reciting Vedic literatures. Sit and chant the mantras, chant Hare Krishna, chant Bhagavad Gita, read loudly, speech, it all speech austerity. So this is also an austerity. Because speech, somebody said, the tongue is something which does not have bone, but it has the ability to break bones. So by speaking, you can harm anybody in any way. So one has, there is some song, no? Achara villada nalige, ninna neecha buddhiya buru nalige. Isn't it? So we have to control the speech, that is austerity. Truthful, pleasing, beneficial, not agitating, and reading scriptures. Now austerity for the mind, Krishna is saying. Okay. Let us chant this. 16th verse. Mana prasada saumyatvam maunamatma vinigraha bhava samshuddhir ityetat tapo manasamuchyate. Serenity, simplicity, gravity, self-control and purity of thought are the austerities of mind. And each item, Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport what does it mean. Gravity in thought means not to deviate from the thought of Krishna. Your thought has gravity. You are not thinking something not so important. You are thinking something very important. What is more important than Krishna in your life? So, not deviate from Krishna's thought. And satisfaction, always avoid sense enjoyment in the mind level. Everything starts in the mind level. Dhyayate vishayan punsan sangasteshu upajayate sangat sanjayate kama kamat krodho vijayate. In the second chapter it is explained how dhyayate vishayan punsam. Our kama starts with contemplation. Mind starts, I want this, I want this. Then the action starts. Everything begins in the mind. So mind should be always avoid the sense enjoyment. Simplicity means straightforwardness here. For the mind's simplicity is. Body's simplicity is living simple life. Mind's simplicity is no duplicity. I tell one thing and do something else. Straightforwardness. Self-control. Self-control is nothing but silence. Okay. So silence means one should be, if you want to be having silence, you should be thinking of self-realization. Something you should be thinking, no? What you should be thinking? You should be thinking of very serious thing in your life. What is that? I want to get self-realized. I want to understand who am I. I have a serious business. When you have a serious business, we don't get disturbed by the disturbing people in our life. I'll give an example. When you're walking on the street, some street dogs bark at you. You're going with an important work. Do you stand back and bark at them? Gav, gav, why are you barking at me? Arey, street dog, it doesn't have other work. Keeps on barking. If dog thinks it's my street, why did you come to my street? That's what dog is asking. His dog does not know it's not his street, and one day it will die, or one day corporation people will take away. Okay. So like that, because we have bigger purpose, we have bigger life, bigger goals, larger life, more beneficial life. We don't have time to bark at the dog or throw stone at the dog, isn't it? Same way, if we have higher goal in our life, by practicing Bhagavad Gita in our life, self-realization, some people will criticize, hey, he's like that, she's like this, and she doesn't affect you. Dogs can bark and caravans pass. You don't get affected by all those things because you have bigger purpose. Like so many people are criticizing Narendra Modi, he's not getting affected. So great people who do big things, great things, they will not get affected by unnecessary disturbances. How to become great person then? Bhagavad Gita says, if you want gravity, self-control, you should always think of self-realization. Oh, today I don't have self-realization. I think I am, this body is I am. But there is a higher purpose in life. I am a practitioner of Bhagavad Gita. I am devotee of Krishna. I have so much work to do. I have so much to read. Today I finished only first chapter. Tomorrow I have second chapter I have to finish. You have some thought, some driven, some goal in life. Not purposelessly, when dogs bark, stand and watch which dog is barking, take a stone, throw at it. So you don't have time for those things. So this is how one can achieve self-control. Purification of one's existence. So one should be straightforward in the dealings. That way, one should be pure in their transactions. So it helps one to reflect what are good things in me, what are bad things in me, and progress in spiritual life. So these are the different austerities. Now austerities for body, mind and speech we understood. Now Krishna explains austerity in 3 modes in the next section. Quickly we'll finish. Austerity is in goodness. Austerity in goodness is performed with transcendental faith. Verse number 17. Threefold austerity practiced by men who aim is not to benefit themselves materially, but please the Supreme Lord. What is his goal? His goal is not in this material world. It's austerity. Why is he doing austerity, tapasya? To please Krishna. Why am I fasting? Not that I want to reduce my weight. I am fasting because today is Ekadashi. If you fast on Ekadashi, Krishna is pleased. That austerity is in the mode of goodness. Not expecting material benefits, only for the sake of Supreme. Next austerity is austerity in passion. Is out of pride to show off. You see, every day I do stand in one leg for 1 hour, nothing happens. I can hold the breath for 5 minutes. I can do samadhi for half an hour. I can do shavasana for 1 hour, 8 hours. So pride, I want to take pride in my practices, that is passion. For respect, honor and worship from others. These kind of austerities, to show off austerities, are not permanent. They do it for some time, then they stop. Then they don't talk about it. So, then they'll tell, once upon a time I was doing, I know all these things. If you tell them, yeah, I know. You know, many people, any Indians, if you ask them, yeah, I know. Everything they know. Bhagavad Gita they know, spiritual life they know, goal of life they know, everything they know. But what are you doing, sir? I'm sleeping. So, austerity in ignorance. Austerity in ignorance is performed out of foolishness. And it is a self-torture, giving torture to oneself and injures oneself. Those penances and austerities which are performed foolishly by means of obstinate self-torture, destroy or injure others, like Hiranyakashipu. Why did you do austerity? You want to trouble others, and are said to be in the mode of ignorance. Now, austerity also three kinds, you see. See how Krishna dives deep into all these things. Just austerity is not sufficient. You should do austerity in goodness, not in passion and ignorance. That's why people say, no, what tapasya? Rakshasas also did tapasya. They don't know. Bhagavad Gita itself, Krishna is explaining. Tapasya of the spiritualists are different from tapasya of Rakshasas. Rakshasas did tapasya for the self-benefit and trouble others. Okay. Then charity. When you give charity, dana. How you should give dana to others is explained now. Okay. Verse number 20. Please repeat. Datavyam iti yaddanam. Datavyam iti yaddanam. Diyate anupakarine. Deshe kale cha patre cha. Taddanam satvikam smritam. So one should give dana at the right desha, patra and kala. Time, place and circumstances, it is called. Based on time, place and circumstances. Gift which is given out of duty at a proper time and place to a worthy person without expectation of return is considered to be in the charity in the mode of goodness. Not that today I will give charity to him, later when he will get more money, he will give me back. With that expectation, if I am giving, then that is not in the mode of goodness. I am not expecting, I just give. I don't want anything. So that charity, and give to the right person at the right time, one should give charity. So that is the charity in the goodness. Distribution of prasadam to people, food to people. Sattva guna food to people, sattvic food is a charity in mode of goodness. Okay. Charity in passion. Next verse it is explained. But charity performed with the expectation of some return, or with the desire for fruitive results, or in a grudging mood, is said to be in charity in the mode of passion. So that charity is also mode of passion. You are expecting something. I heard even in these marriages they give gifts. There is also some calculation is there. You give gold chain, and when your family marriage happens, that person has to give the gold chain. That is nothing but loan without interest. So, lot of calculation is there. How much he has given, how much this person has given, what he has given. So, this charity which is with the expectation is not in the highest charity. That is also charity. But he is expecting something. Definitely he will get. Charity if you do, you will get back. There is no doubt. Like austerity if you do, you will get powers. But you decide what you want. Sattva-guna austerity you want, Rajoguna, like that. Charity if you do in Sattva-guna, you will progress spiritually. Krishna will be pleased with you. Lord will be pleased with you. In the passion when you are doing charity, you will get returns. You give, you have to give. If you take even 100 rupees from somebody, and without paying, if you die next life, you have to take birth to give back that. Every paisa is counted in the Lord's arrangement. You cannot escape from that. So, grudging mood or unwillingly if somebody gives charity. Not so happy. After giving charity, I am thinking, oh, why did I give? So that is also mode of passion. So next, charity in the mode of ignorance. Adeshe kala yaddanam apatre bhyascha dhyate. The charity performed at an improper place and time and given to unworthy person without respect and with contempt in charity in the mode of ignorance. Like in a club dance, there is a dancer, somebody throws money at her. It's also a charity But charity is a wrong place, wrong time to the wrong person. Sometimes people feel during the corona time, some people, all drunkards, were feeling very sympathetic towards other drunkards. They are giving charity of bottles. Okay, I got some 10 and you also get 2, you also take 2. They are doing charity. The smokers give charity to the new upcoming smokers. You take 1 cigarette free. So like this. Drug addicts give charity to drugs of somebody. They want them also to join their party. The improper time, improper place, the disrespectfully give for the wrong reasons, this kind of charity is in the mode of ignorance. Okay, now conclusion. We come to the conclusion. Om Tat Sat is the conclusion. Because whole discussion is about Swabhava of a person, isn't it? Acquired nature we discussed. Swabhava of a person, based on the Swabhava, they will be in any of these categories they will be doing. But ultimately, if they have to get benefited, then Om Tat Sat has to come. That is the conclusion of this chapter. Okay. Om Tat Sat is supreme absolute truth. Please chant this verse, 23rd verse. Om Tat Sat iti nirdesho Brahmanas trividas smritaha Brahmanastena vedascha Yajñascha vihita pura. From the beginning of creation, 3 syllables, Om Tat Sat, have been used to indicate the supreme absolute truth. Om means the Supreme Lord, Tat means detachment, Sat means attachment to the Supreme Lord. That's called Om Tat Sat. They were uttered by Brahmanas while chanting the Vedic hymns and during the sacrifices for the satisfaction of the Supreme. So for the Supreme satisfaction. So one ultimately after doing charity, the consciousness should be Om Tat Sat. It is for the Lord. So definitely those who do charity in ignorance, they cannot Om Tat Sat, consciousness will not come. So Krishna is indirectly saying that one should perform even the Swabhava. One does it the good purposes, then it will have effect. Om. What is Om? Krishna explains in next verse. Thus transcendentalists undertake sacrifices, charity and penance, beginning always with the Om to attain the Supreme. Om is nothing but Vishnu or Lord. And Tat. One should perform sacrifice, penance and charity with the word Tat. The purpose of such transcendental activities is to get free from the material entanglement, detachment. Tat means detachment. Om is for the Supreme Lord, Tat is for detachment. I am doing for what purpose? Finally, goal is that I should come out of Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. This is the foundation and basic fundamental message of Vedic culture. Ultimately, everybody should get relieved from this Janma Mrityu cycle. Birth, death, old age, disease. Janma Mrityu Charavya. That is the basic. So one should do Tat while doing the activity, which is freedom from the material entanglement. Then Sat. What does Sat explained here as? The absolute truth is the objective of the devotional sacrifice, and it is indicated by the word Sat. Sat means permanent, Sat means supreme. That's why word Satvika, Sajjana, Sadhu, all this comes from. These works of sacrifice, of penance and of charity, due to the absolute nature, are performed to please the Supreme Person. So Sat means for pleasing. Om Tat Sat means ultimately Lord should help me to get detached from this world, and it is for the pleasure of the Lord I am doing. That's Om Tat Sat. That's why everything in our all the mantras we end Om Tat Sat. Yeah. So everything is like Krishna Arpanamastu. We say Om Tat Sat. That's how it ends. That's the meaning of it. So the last was about Asat. Ashraddhaya utam dattam tapastaptam kritam chayat. But sacrifice, austerity and charity is performed without faith in the Supreme. If you don't have faith in the Lord, it is non-permanent. O son of Pritha, Arjuna, regardless of whatever rites are performed, they are called asat, are useless, both in this life and the next. So if you don't keep the Supreme, okay, you are not referring to scriptures. This was Arjuna's first question. I am not following the scriptures, but I have some faith, I am doing some things. Okay, no problem. You are not following the scriptures, but at least you should have faith in God, faith in Supreme. Without faith in Supreme, if you do, whatever you do is useless, either in this life or next life. This is the conclusion of Krishna, 17th chapter. So this chapter is called Division of Faith. So we understood a lot about faith, which is coming out of our own nature, and three modes, how Sattva, Rajas, Tamas act in our day-to-day life also we realized today in the today's session. With this, we have come to the end of 17th chapter and coming to the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita in the next session. That is a conclusion, perfection of renunciation or conclusion chapter. We'll be understanding is the biggest chapter in Bhagavad Gita is the 18th chapter, total 78 verses. Second chapter is 72 verses, 78 verses. So we are dividing it into two sessions. Next session and next to next session. So next week is 28th and after that is I think 5th. So we will be having part 1 and part 2. Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki, Shri Shrintai Gauranga ki, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.